Imagine walking through a bustling farmer's market on your daughter's birthday, only to hear her sobbing on the phone, cornered by a pack of judgmental old women calling her unchristian. But that's just the spark. What happens next is a masterclass in sweet, calculated revenge that leaves an entire church reeling. Stick around, because this Reddit story will have you cheering for justice. If you've ever been betrayed by family, underestimated, or pushed to your breaking point, and dreamed of that perfect comeback, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more epic revenge tales. And let's dive into this roller coaster of a story. Trust me, by the end, you'll feel that rush of vindication. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Revenge Stories, where we dive deep into those real-life tales of betrayal, drama, and oh so satisfying payback. Today's story comes from a brave mom who's been through the ringer. Let's call her Sarah for anonymity. She's 46, a hardworking single parent raising two amazing daughters, 17 and 15. Life was already tough enough after her ex-husband, let's name him Mark, died in a tragic accident last year. But what followed? A storm of family drama that would test anyone's limits. Sarah and Mark's marriage wasn't perfect, but she thought they were building a life together. That illusion shattered when her daughters accidentally discovered Mark's secret affair. He wasn't just cheating, he had two baby boys with his mistress. And get this, the mistress died shortly after Mark, leaving those kids orphaned. Sarah's world flipped upside down. Her girls, who had stumbled upon the evidence, were traumatized. They felt guilty, angry, betrayed. Therapy sessions became a weekly staple as they processed the mess their dad had left behind. But the real villains in this story? Mark's parents, his mom 80 and dad 78. We'll call them the in-laws from hell. These folks had always been holier-than-thou types, deeply embedded in their conservative church community. They knew about the affair all along. Mark had confessed to them, and instead of calling him out, they supported him, even harassing Sarah about staying in the marriage for the family's sake. After Mark's death, things escalated. The in-laws tried to swoop in and claim custody of Sarah's daughters, dragging the family to court. They even demanded to move in with Sarah and the girls, acting like they were entitled to her home and life. Sarah's blood boiled every time she thought about it. Her hands would clench into fists, her stomach twisting in knots, as she whispered to herself, "Over my dead body." The in-laws weren't penniless victims either. They inherited Mark's personal bank account and life insurance, plenty to live on. But greed and entitlement ran deep. And the daughters? They wanted nothing to do with their grandparents or the half-brothers. The trauma was too fresh. The girls had found the cheating evidence themselves. Photos and texts that haunted their dreams. Nightmares of their dad's double life. Feelings of abandonment. They were working through it all with a therapist. But healing takes time. Now, fast forward to a seemingly innocent weekend. It's the local farmer's market, alive with the scent of fresh baked bread, ripe strawberries, and sizzling meats from farm stalls. Vendors shout out deals. Kids laugh as they chase each other between booths. And the air hums with that small-town charm. This week was special. It was Sarah's youngest daughter's birthday. The 15-year-old, let's call her Lily, had been through so much, so Sarah wanted to make it memorable. No big party yet. That was later in the month. Instead, she handed Lily a budget and said, "Go wild, sweetie. Get whatever makes you happy, chocolates, sweets, anything." Lily's eyes lit up, her smile wide as she dashed off with her older sister, Emma 17. Sarah browsed the produce, picking up eggs and veggies, feeling a rare moment of peace. But an hour ticked by. Worry crept in. A cold prickle down her spine. "Where are they?" she muttered, pulling out her phone. Just as she was about to call, it rang. Lily's name on the screen. Sarah answered, heart pounding. "Mom, Mom, please come quick." Lily sobbed, her voice trembling. "These weird people have me cornered. They're yelling at me." Sarah's world narrowed to a tunnel of rage and fear. She grabbed Emma, who was nearby, and they sprinted through the crowd, dodging strollers and baskets. The market's cheerful buzz faded into a distant hum as Sarah's breath came in sharp gasps. They found Lily huddled near a sweet stall, surrounded by 6 older women like a flock of crows in floral dresses and sensible shoes. These weren't strangers. Sarah recognized a few from the in-laws' church, that tight-knit group where judgment flowed freer than communion wine. The women were berating Lily, their voices sharp and accusatory. "How can you be so unchristian, young lady? Refusing to spend time with your poor grandparents? And those orphan baby brothers, don't you want to be a good big sister?" One leaned in close, her finger wagging like a weapon. Lily stood there, tears streaming down her flushed cheeks, clutching a bag of chocolates that now felt childish and out of place. Her shoulders hunched, body shrinking under the verbal assault. Emma arrived first, wrapping an arm around her sister, but the women didn't stop. Sarah pushed through, her mama bear instincts roaring. "Get away from my daughter," she shouted, stepping between them like a shield. The women's eyes widened, but they didn't back down. "Tell your sister to pay for the stuff and get to the car," Sarah instructed Emma, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. As the girls hurried off, Sarah turned to the group, her face hot with fury. "How dare you harass a child? This is none of your business." The women sneered. One, with gray hair pinned in a severe bun, crossed her arms. "You're the worst of all, refusing to obey your in-laws like a good Christian wife. Shame on you." The words hit like slaps, echoing old wounds from the marriage. Sarah's mind raced internal screams of "who do they think they are?" mixed with memories of the in-laws' past harassments. The argument escalated, voices rising over the market noise. "You're poisoning those girls," another yelled. Sarah fired back. "Mind your own damn family." Shoppers stared, vendors whispered. Finally, market security intervened. "Everyone out, now." Sarah stormed to the car, the women trailing like vultures, muttering prayers and condemnations. She slammed the door, tires screeching as she drove away. In the rearview, Lily wiped her eyes, Emma holding her hand. That night, after tucking the girls and Lily clutching her stuffed bear a little tighter, Sarah couldn't sleep. Her chest ached with helplessness. "Why us? Why can't they just leave us alone?" she thought, scrolling her phone in the dim kitchen light. She messaged a church acquaintance she trusted, someone on good terms despite the divide. He apologized profusely and spilled the beans. The ex-mother-in-law had posted a massive sob story in the church's Facebook group. "Horrible daughters and ex-wife leaving us homeless and penniless," it wailed. Lies about Sarah causing the loss of the grandsons, painting them as victims. But the twist? To skirt the church's strict no-cheating rule. She claimed the affair partner was a surrogate because Sarah couldn't have more kids and accused Sarah of rejecting the boys because they were male. Disgusting, sexist garbage that made Sarah's skin crawl. The church was eating it up, especially the extremist crowd. Comments poured in, prayers for the poor elderly couple, offers of support. Sarah's jaw clenched as she read it all. But this church had one redeeming quality: they despised cheating. No exceptions. Husbands or wives. It was a cardinal sin. And Sarah? She had proof. Since the divorce was mid-process when Mark died, she held all the evidence. Photos, texts, emails. No legal barriers to sharing. The turning point hit like lightning. "Enough," Sarah whispered to her reflection in the mirror, eyes burning with resolve. Her hands trembled not from fear, but determination. She was done being the villain in their twisted narrative. The next day, off work, she headed to a print shop. High-quality paper, glossy finishes, she spared no expense. Photos of Mark and his mistress making out in their living room, faces crystal clear. Texts where Mark confessed to his parents, and they encouraged him. Harassing messages to Sarah about the divorce. And the bombshell, emails and texts bullying the daughters, calling them bastards, and blaming them for Mark's death just days after the accident. "Your fault for telling your mom," one read. Sarah's heart broke anew printing those, but it fueled her fire. Back home, she crafted binders innocent-looking, like the church's hymn packets, covers embossed with fake prayer titles. Inside, the first page, Mark and the mistress, labeled "Mark and Mistress's Name's Love Story." Pages of evidence followed, organized like a courtroom exhibit. Her fingers ached from hours of work, but a grim smile played on her lips. "This ends now," she thought. Sunday morning, before service, Sarah slipped into the church and noticed the back desk held extra songbooks. No one checked them. She stacked her binders there, heart racing, palms sweaty. Then she left, a weight lifting as she drove away. The gossip exploded like wildfire. Whispers during hymns turned to outright gasps as binders circulated. Cheater. Liar! The Facebook group lit up names for Mark and his mistress that would make sailors blush. The pastor jumped in, moderating to keep it PG-13, but the damage was done. Fury shifted to the in-laws. How could you abuse those poor girls? Calling them bastards? Unforgivable. Sarah watched from afar, a triumphant laugh escaping as she read the posts. The in-laws? Shamed into silence, then exile. The mother-in-law's pitiful wall post about feeling alienated and wishing her great son was alive fell flat, no sympathy left. And Sarah? Still wrong for divorcing in some eyes, but understandable after the shock. She even got apology letters for her girls and a church invite, ironic but validating. The custody push crumbled under the scrutiny. Finally, peace. Sarah hugged her daughters that night, feeling the tension melt away, replaced by a warm glow of justice served. Stories like this remind us that sometimes standing up for yourself and your loved ones means shining a light on the truth. No matter how ugly, karma might take its time, but when it hits, it's poetic. What do you think? Does revenge like this restore balance? Or is forgiveness always the way? If this tale of church-shaking revenge gave you that satisfying chill down your spine, smash that like button and drop a comment below. What's the most epic payback you've ever seen or pulled off? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Reddit stories that pack an emotional punch. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.